The ability to have multiple artboards was something that was introduced in Adobe Illustrator CS4. This was really handy because it allowed you to create different variations of a design all in one document. So for instance, if I was designing a logo, I could have the color version of that logo on this artboard and a grayscale version of that logo on this artboard. The cool thing about that is both of them are still in one Illustrator file, but they have their own separate artboards, which means I can print them separately, I can save them separately, etc. In this tutorial video, we're going to talk about how to first create those artboards and then how to edit them and explore them after the fact. So on this document, I have 2 artboards, and I got these by going up to File, New, and changing the settings for whatever that artboard I wanted it to be, 500 by 500 pixel, and it has a 5 pixel bleed all the way around, and I changed my number of artboards here. So I could do a ton of different artboards, and then this is the way that they will be shown or laid out on your actual document page. So I'll go ahead and hit cancel. That's how I got those 2 artboards. So now what do? What if I want a third artboard? Or what if I want artboards of varying sizes? Or what if instead of 500 pixels by 500 pixels, I wanted my artboard to be the size of an iPhone screen? Well, in order to change these artboards, you need to go to the Artboard tool. And as you can see, it kind of gets a little bit grayed out, and the options bar up here has a bunch of different options for you to create new artboards. So if I hover around this gray area, which is what we call the canvas, and click and drag, this will allow me to create a new artboard. And as I'm dragging, you can see it changes the width and the height, so it can show you what size you're creating that artboard. The minute you let go, it turns into an artboard that has the same bleed that my original artboards had. To delete that artboard, I can click the trash can icon up here. So for each of these artboards, I can give them a unique name instead of the generic artboard 1. So let's say this was my color logo, and this artboard 2 was the grayscale version of that logo. Grayscale. Okay. So for each of these artboards, we have a couple different view options. You can move the artwork as you move the artboard. So if you needed to move it around, up, down, left, right, for whatever reason, it'll move the artwork with it. And then I can show the center mark, and that's going to allow me to properly place my artwork. And then I can use the different crosshairs, and then I can show the video safe areas if I'm designing something for video. When it comes to resizing this actual artboard and wanting to know what size it is, what color mode it's using, you can go to this artboard options dialog, and this is showing that it has a width and height of 500 pixels, what orientation it's in, and you can show those different cross marks as well. So let's say I wanted to create a couple more artboards for that logo. How would it be shown on a mobile device? How would it be shown on an iPad, whatnot? If I select this artboard and then hit new, as I hover around, you can see it's the exact same size as my first 2 artboards, and I can kind of line it up using the guides, and I can create a perfectly sized version of that artboard. But what happens if I want this to be a custom size? Now I can drag these if I wanted to, but Illustrator does something really handy. It allows you to use these presets. So let's say I wanted to see what it would look like on an iPhone. So that's the automatic size of an iPhone. And let's say I wanted this one to be an iPhone, or let's say I want to create a new iPhone. But for this one, I'll just plop it right here for now and move over. For this one, I want to see what it looks like maybe in landscape view. So that's allowing me to create all these artboards that maybe show my logo for the regular standalone logo, what it'd look like on a device, what it'd look like on a website, what it'd look like on a business card, and I can use these presets to create those custom sizes. Last but not least, you can change the XY coordinates and the width and height up here, but mostly you're just going to want to work by moving them around yourself. So I'll delete these extra artboards. And that's the basics of working with an artboard. Now you can hit escape on your keyboard to get out of that, or if you're in the artboard tool, you can click the regular selection tool to get out of that as well.